also owes. WIFTBPM.
Live from What's in It for the Black Media Studio, you're listening to The Bigs with Eugene McIntosh and Terrence Tomlin.
Let's begin now.
Let you do the honor since you back in the building, brother.
We are right back at it. I am back in the building, man. Happy to be back. Live from the West End for the Black People Studios. You are officially back down on the soil. Happy Wednesday to everybody out there doing their thing, pushing their way through the work week. It's time to get your sports fix in, man. Time to kick it with the illest independent media outlet there is in the land, man. The Bigs Media. We are back down on the soil. Ready to talk sports with you or whatever you feel like. I feel like whenever I'm behind the mic with you, Gino, I got to be ready to talk about whatever. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely ready to do that today. How you feeling, bro?
Man, I can't complain, brother. Happy to be here on this chilly Wednesday afternoon, man. The guys are hooping, so I had to gracefully bow out today. I got my 300 shots in yesterday, so I feel like I ain't missing too much, missing the hoop this afternoon. But,
okay.
Good to be here, man. Shout out to you for finally coming back in the building, man. I guess you felt like you was on location long enough. It was time for you to come back and touch down on the soil for real.
Absolutely. 100% on point with that one.
We got our boy Flo holding us down behind the boards, doing all the hard work.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to the
welcome back, y'all. Welcome back.
Man, brother. Shout out to Mays Jackson. Shout out to the What's in It for the Black People Media family. Herb was outside on a Zoom meeting on a call out there, so he showed up to the studio early. So that's always a good sign, man. But yeah, peace to everybody out there rocking with the brothers, man. Watching on YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitch, StreamYard, Instagram, Periscope, whatever your social media.
Everywhere.
Whatever your vice is out there, man, make sure that you rock out with the brothers, man. We appreciate it. And you know me, man, even though I got I don't even know what sweater this is. I think this might be like 10 deep or something. It's one of my old hoodies I busted out. But, man, you already know, man, I'm representing for the black nationalists, man. Representing for the Rastafarians, and I'm also representing for the Garveyites, man, and just the RBG movement in general, man. The red, black, and green, my hashtag, man. We all we got. We got to continue to support each other and continue to push this black thing forward, man, because, man, it's official, brother, and it's much needed in this world and in this time of change. You feel me?
Absolutely, man. First of all, I got to give a birthday shout-out today, man. One of my main bros, man, Derek Davis, the Rev.
Shout out to the Rev, man.
That's what I call him, man. Happy birthday. The man is crossing the finish line another time, getting ready to start another race, man. Happy.
What, he hitting 30?
Hitting 32.
Oh.
Yeah, he's leading the pack out here, man.
Okay.
So he's actually leading the pack in more than one way, man. I'm super proud of the dude. I know he's watching somewhere, man, so I definitely wanted to make sure I give you a happy birthday shout-out, bro.
All day. Happy born day, my boy.
Yes, sir. Gino. How you feeling, bro? I got to check your temperature. What's going on today?
Man, I know about you checking them temps, man. It's all good, man. A couple things ran past my mind today, man. I do the knowledge early in the morning when I'm doing my thing. I actually went to the dentist this morning, man. I had a 9:10 appointment. Shout out to my girl, Angel.
Essential.
Shout out to my girl,
Angel.
Angel.
Where you had?
I go to Kaufman and Kaufman, the Hyde Park Dentistry.
Yep.
You know Angel?
No, I know the spot.
Right, we talked about this before. Yeah, my girl Angel at the desk, and she does a lot of things around that building. So she's always looking out for me, making sure that my account is on point and making sure that I get the service I deserve. That God, I need my service, man. So she said they didn't have an appointment till late February, but she was like, Gene, you my guy. I'm going to make sure you get up in here. So I called like Thursday. I got in there today. My girl Nina, who's my dentist, who does the cleaning. These are black people, too. I wish I know it's a black dentist out there, but that I can find that I might have to change and get to. But Kaufman and Kaufman, they do good work. Dr. Kaufman, he's a cool guy, does great work. But Nina is the dentist. She took care of me today. And like we talked about in the hallway, T, Man, every time you go to the dentist, man, it's like this. You get this eerie feeling, especially, you know what I do though now? When I get in the chair, and you know they do all this now. It's these, you know, they got all these new stipulations with COVID, so they got all this PPE equipment and all this extra stuff you got to do. So, you know, when they sit you down and get you in the chair and get you right, lift you up, lift you down, put your head back and all that, then they give you the glasses to put on so the stuff don't get all on your face.
Yep.
I just close my eyes, bro.
Oh, yeah.
I just close my eyes. I used to want to look.
Yeah.
You know, I got a high threshold for pain, man. I feel like I can take the pain. It's just a little pain. It's not going to last too long, so I feel like, you know, it's whatever. But I just close my eyes, get in the chair, and let Nina do her work. So today I was back in there and got my cleaning. You know, you're supposed to get a cleaning every 6 months. I think it had been.
That's what they recommend.
That's what they recommend. And I mean, I feel like it's a good time. It's twice a year.
Yeah, yeah.
You should at least see your dentist twice a year. And, yeah, I'm feeling good, man. She did her thing. Got my stuff all clean. I still got a couple things left to do, but hey, man, take care of your teeth. Take care of your teeth out there, man.
Got to take care of your teeth, man. And this is spoken from a cat who's I've had braces. I never had a cavity. Knock on wood.
I've had braces, and I got several cavities. I'm getting fill-ins as we speak.
Man, you know what? I didn't grow up a candy kid, but I do feel like I've picked up my candy intake over the years. So I've been a little bit worried about not being at the dentist in so long. I got to go ahead and put my foot down and set that appointment.
Yeah, man.
Because the last thing I want is issues with my teeth, bro. Just like you said, that was my strategy once a month when I had braces going to the dentist. I just sat back there. Look, do what you need to do. If you need me to do anything, let me know, but I'm closing my eyes and letting you work, okay? Because I don't want to see the long needles or the drills or whatever you got to use inside of my mouth. So I totally feel you on the close your eyes strategy.
Yeah, man. But like I said, man, make sure you guys take care of your teeth, take care of your health in general, and go see your dentist, man. It's not all that bad. T said it's. What'd you say when we walked in? You say you always fear going to the dentist.
I never liked going to the dentist. I was the cat that always had problems. I could really talk for a couple of hours about the wild experiences that I've had at the dentist. I didn't almost bit people's fingers off, bro. I didn't threw up on people. Oh, my experiences at the dentist have been book worthy. Okay, so yeah. And if you've seen any of my baby pictures or my young T pictures, I don't know if you have.
I've seen a couple.
But yeah, bro, I had one of those grills that needed some work, and I got the work though from 7th to 8th grade. And by the time I got to high school, everybody thought I just had the straight pearly whites. It's like, no, it took some work to get to this point.
So when did you get the braces?
I got the braces at the end of my 6th grade year, like the day after school closed. I got braces, and then I had them all the way up until the day of freshman orientation, going to high school. So the official first day of high school, my braces were gone.
Okay.
So that was really a good thing when I look back on it.
And
I didn't have to go to high school with braces.
I had braces in high school. I actually had braces for much longer than I needed them because I got them my junior year. And then when I went away to college, I wasn't able to go to my orthodontist I needed to. So, man, I had braces for like 4 years, bro.
Why I did not know that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It was a trying time in my life. Yeah, Flo. It was different, man.
Did you wear your retainer?
I wore my retainer, but then I would lose it when you go out when you eat in a restaurant or you eat out, and then you take your retainer out, you put it on the little tray or whatever, and then I end up throwing my tray away and my retainer ends up in the garbage.
Guilty of that as well.
I done lost my retainer plenty of times, man. So
it's crazy. I have a story that's just like that, bro. I threw my retainer away at lunch one time on accident, and my parents. Of course.
Of course, that's money out their pocket. And people, Flo, did you have braces?
No, but it's actually funny y'all bring it up because I have a dentist appointment Friday, which is the first time as a grown-ass man I went to the dentist.
Yeah, good.
And I'm considering, like, man, do I want to be a 30-year-old with braces? That's what I'm considering right now. I'm glad y'all got y'all's out the way.
Hey, brother, now with technology and the way everything is advanced, braces ain't too, back then it was like brace face, metal mouth, all those different jokes.
Man. Yes.
But now you can get You can get clear
Yeah,
braces.
you can get the Invisalign.
Invisalign, right? They're not even. It's not as tedious of a process as it was back then. It's like you go to the dentist, they wire you up. You got to come in every 2 months. When they get them tightened, bro.
Yeah.
When you
With
get
the
them
rubber
tightened
bands.
up, then you got to put the rubber. You got to put the rubber bands in there, sideways, crossing all this stuff.
It's a task.
It was a task, bro, but it was worth it. I feel like it was worth it. I got and my thing was I had an overbite in the back.
Oh, wow.
My smile was decent. Like, this is always, my front it was just back here that I needed to work. So I was always like, man, but.
You know what? Before I had to get my braces, and it's tied to sports, right? This is back when we were playing JRW. So before I had to get my braces, I had to get like 6 teeth pulled, bro.
Ooh.
3 from each level. And the dilemma was that I had to get them pulled on the same day as the Little League All-Star team, bro. I had made the All-Star team at third base, and I'm telling my mom and dad, I'm like, gee, I'm not missing the All-Star game because I got to get braces. This is y'all decision. I made the All-Star team. And of course, they didn't plan on me doing it. But so I ended up playing in the All-Star game after I got my teeth pulled with my mouth numbed in a mug with blood gogs in my mouth.
Wasn't nothing stopping you from getting out on that field.
And I went crazy, bro.
I win? I'm finna say, like, I know that motivated you.
Come on, I was thirsty, man. I was thirsty, and I had a great game. I remember getting a ground ball from third, Gino, and the double tap, let it go. I'm like, I'm good. I can do this today. Okay, so yeah, man, just like Gino said, go to the dentist, get the checkup on your mouth so you ain't got them problems down the line.
Straight up, man. It was a good investment back then. I really didn't understand what the investment was, and now that we're older, now that we got nephews and nieces, and now that you're paying your own way, you understand how much these things cost, how much of an investment they are and were, and how much they mean. So yeah, man, one more time, Flows, make sure you get there Friday, man, and take care of your teeth, man.
Oh yeah, yes for sure.
Man,
you gotta let them know the rules before.
I was gonna let them know. I was gonna let them know the rules when we come
on
back
the rebound?
from break. Yeah, man.
Okay.
But it was something on my bird this morning, man.
Talk to me.
Did you see Larry Hoover back in the news, bro?
I did not. That's news to me right now. What's the deal?
Larry Hoover is now being charged with killing a rival board member of the notorious street gang in 2018. Now Larry has been seeking a reduction in his prison term. Trying to get out early. I think Larry been in the joints almost 50 years, bro. I think he's serving like 5 life sentences or something like that.
I'm seeing it right now.
What does it say?
It's actually a laundry list of things that they are claiming is that he is still
Calling the shots.
An active gang member and appointed 2 gang leaders and was involved in a murder from prison, fair say.
Well, he's Larry Hoover, man. He's the originator of the Gangster Disciples. So, yeah, bro. I'm like, damn, man. Y'all just don't, like, all these pardons going on, all these different guys getting out the joint.
They penning some extra stuff, you know what I mean? So that's an interesting parallel. Like, as much as I feel like the lobbying has picked up for Larry Hoover to get out, and this to be the next piece of news, is like
waiting to pile it on, man.
All you can do is shake your head. I'm just remember Kanye was in the White House
trying to talk about Larry.
Yeah, it's like, how didn't he get pardoned? And of course,
man, let the chairman out, bro. It's like the man ain't got too much time left, man. Let him get with his wife and his kids. Let him live a few, let him live a few years of freedom, man. He done did his 50 ball,
Yeah.
I saw that this morning. I'm like, man, come on, man.
Yeah.
Y'all got the man in Supermax serving 5 life sentences. Like, Joe Biden, them definitely don't want that man out the joint. So
He's not on Joe Biden's watch, right?
Right.
Nah.
It's not happening, man. So yeah, I just had to make a quick note of that, man. They threw Larry back in the news today, talking about he's still calling shots, talking about he was part of a murder from 2018. They named a bunch of the old GDs in the report. This is on the Sun-Times. I read it in the Sun-Times this morning. So if y'all interested, go to the suntimes.com and check out the Larry Hoover piece. And
it sounds sketchy to me. I mean, until this time, it sounds like he's been a model citizen from what I'm reading from the article. And then in 2018, when he starts his push to get his time taken down, then they say
they want to stack it on. And then I see Kenneth Steele said they put him on the front page.
They put him on the front page of the paper today?
I didn't even see that.
Wow.
Like Chris Bryant said,
Well, like must have been a slow news day.
Definitely, man. Y'all gotta get off. Y'all gotta get off the chairman, man. If we did the knowledge and check some of these guys, pulled the covers up on some of these guys in legislature and in these executive offices, man, I'm pretty sure they just as dusty and dirty as
He's definitely in front of the paper right now. Yeah.
Well, they got him looking bogus too.
It's a picture of him just looking. He looking like just upset. It says gangster disciple founder Larry Hoover appointed 2 gang leaders from prisons fair. So yeah, you just read that. Yeah, this is. Damn, Larry, we supposed to be free by now. 50 years.
A 50 ball, Joe.
50 years.
He definitely been in jail before I was born. And like I said, he doing a 5-piece, man. 5 life sentences, man. That's beyond me, but. You know, he ain't the first or the last, man. You know how they, you know, I saw a couple people talking about, I mean, they tried, I'm not saying they mentioned him in the same breath as like Mumia Abu-Jamal, but they definitely called Larry a political prisoner.
Oh, yeah. For years.
Yeah, I'm just like, man, this is,
when you see the relationships he had.
Yeah, this is,
you know what I mean?
This is some wild times we living in.
No, super wild. I'm actually happy you went that way. I was wondering, like I said, I got to be ready for whatever you talk about. I was wondering if you was going to talk about the cat from the NFL, the white dude.
What I missed?
That beat on his girlfriend. I think his name was Chad Wheeler.
I missed that.
He damn near killed his girlfriend, and with the reason being that she didn't bow down to him when he said, bow down.
Chad Wheeler from the Seahawks.
Yes.
Arrested on suspicion of felony domestic violence.
And his girl is black, and this is a white dude.
I'm looking at him.
Yeah. He choked her out to the point where when she came back to consciousness, I guess she said that he said, "Damn, you made it?" Like he thought she was dead.
The report noted that the alleged victim was bleeding and suffered a dislocated arm when police arrived before being taken to the hospital to treat her injuries. Wow, man. He picked the lock of the bathroom door where she was hiding and was standing beside her when police arrived at the scene. The victim claimed Wheeler strangled her before she lost consciousness after she did not bow down to him like he requested.
Out of the blue, she says.
I ain't gonna tell you what needs to happen to Buddy, Joe.
Come on, and you know the issue is, you didn't even know that this was going on.
No,
if this was like,
if it was
one of the brothers,
Marshawn Lynch,
yeah, if it was Marshawn Lynch, one of Aldis Smith,
yeah,
you would not be able to escape it. You know what I mean? And this is one of the wildest cases I've seen. The pictures of her are absolutely terrible.
I don't want to see that. Well, actually, I do.
He tried to kill this woman. You know what I mean? So, yeah, like you said, what should happen to this dude? Please, he should be locked up yesterday.
So this is when these guys need to be put in violation, man. This is when it need to be like folks now, man. 20 to the eye, no blink, all types of violations, man. This guy, you want to dish it out, then you need to get it in return before we take you, and let the courts and those guys deal with you. Let us deal with you first, since you want to.
Crazy.
Yeah, crazy. Absolutely crazy. So it's a wild day, because it's not that slow of a news day. It's definitely wild, 2 wild topics right off the top. So.
No, man. Let's take a break, man.
Larry Hoover on the front page.
In
2021.
They threw the chairman on the. Hey, man.
On that note, is it break time? First break of the day?
Let's take a break, man. When we come back on the other side of the break, man, we have got to talk about the Baseball Hall of Fame, Joe.
Yes.
Because it's wicked out here. I'm a member of the BBWAAT. You know how these guys operate. And it's wicked, man.
I got some thoughts, bro.
No doubt. So let's take a break, man. We come back on the other side. We're going to be talking 2021 Baseball Hall of Fame non-inductees, man. So you're on the soil with the Bigs. We'll be right back.
You're listening to I Said What I Said with Toussaint Warner and Herb Howard.
Well, what was the power of the Bible? Most motherfuckers couldn't read. So the Bible legitimately changed the world because motherfuckers began to learn to read. And once I can learn to read, wait a minute, I can question some of this bullshit you talking about.
What school you go to, though?
It don't matter.
A mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Well,
I went to Dunbar.
Yes!
That's how Dunbar.
Oh, it's good.
People disrespect the city schools. This Chicago. And I'm a motherfucking genius.
And that's on period.
Shout out to the mighty man. Nah, I'm just playing. But seriously though, think about it though, right? The Bible legitimately changed the world, right?
What's up, good people? You're listening to I Said What I Said with Toussaint Warner and Herb Howard live on What's in It for the Black People Media, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
Dame Lillard, and I'm rocking with the Bigs.
Hey, this is Jason Kidd, and we're rocking with the Bigs.
I'm Chris Bryant from the Chicago Cubs, and I'm rocking with the Bigs.
This is Mark Cuban, Dallas Mavericks. You're rocking with the Bigs.
We out west with it, where we live illegal. Leaning off a leader, riding regal, tipping scales like Libras. Inhale, no L's, pulling out blocks like Jenga. In the rear of a Caprice's Billy Rims, flicking decent nonetheless. Nothing less than tens for the speakers. You'll hear us before you see us with beats that beat the streets up. Yeah. So try and keep up and keep it low key, cuz police try and treat us and keep us on a leash, cuz that's how they see us, thinking we nuts. Cuz we'll die for the ground beneath us, because this land made us. This land made of players that stay on paper. That's how we came up amongst the mayhem to the day when we display what we made of. The game can never change us, the West Side teaches. On these streets where you find that D before G. We out west with it, back down, trying to flip a dollar. If you looking, then we got it, you just got up in a block. We out west with it, riding clean, wetter than the sea. On the scene with a full tank, blowing AC. We out west with it, I'm posted, let me know what y'all on. Cause if y'all get on something, then just hit my phone. We out west with it, yes sir. Hustle for every penny in the trenches, but we turn struggle into strength. Smell the grind in the air, take a whiff. Only the nose knows the aroma. Compose the money rolls that fold up, holding cold cups. Searching for those that got the purple O's for the $4. And we could go nuts and stay at the store like grocers, and post up with O's on the table like coasters. It's how the game coached us, made us all in the soldiers. Now that dough is the focus, so know that we own this. Molded by the hood role models, riding good, the latest model, drinking good, raising bottles like we just missed a pothole. You got to know that it's impossible to stop our flow. We've seen it all from watching cops reload 30s a dro while drinking the night away until the block got slow. You'll know as soon as you see us, we the ones laid back in the cut. My demeanor seems to always get me up. We out west with it, back down, trying to flip a dollar. If you looking, then we got it, you just got up in a block. We out west with it, riding clean, wetter than the sea. On the scene with a full tank, blowing AC. We out west with it, I'm posted, let me know what y'all on. Cause if y'all get on something, then just hit my phone. We out west with it, yes sir. Hustle for every penny in the trenches, but we turn struggle into strength. Yeah, home of the survivor, survival of the fittest in the town. It's wicked, you could J down in a minute. What am? What's the business? The biz is how you down to get it. From Cape Town to Fifth City, the sounds of Fifth's empty. When we tipsy is risky, where the lick be at least 10 deep. It tempts me, but there's no mystery. Where the chips be, the tips G. Just our history from the 60s. Pimpin' ain't easy, but we bleed it. This here game is in our veins, in the air we breathe in. Believe this, it's no game, but the key is your mouthpiece, spit your game. But believe, turn nothing into something. We suffer without supper long enough. Struggling from summer to summer, the same place where the dope is sold. It's home to the Oprah show, the same place I know is home. We out west with it, back down, trying to flip a dollar. If you looking, then we got it, you just got up in a block. We out west with it, riding clean, wetter than the sea. On the scene with a full tank, blowing AC. We out west with it, I'm posted, let me know what y'all on. Cause if y'all get on something, then just hit my phone. We out west with it, yes sir. Hustle for every penny in the trenches, but we turn struggling.
Well, we turn struggle into strength, man. We out west with it. Actually, we out south with it right now. But you know, out west with it, man. That's one of the most requested songs. That might be, other than Rona Money, man, that might be the most requested song in And what's in it for the Black People Media
That's
Network.
my welcome back right there, mentioning Rona money. They're like, now I know I'm officially back.
Man, that boy Ricky has been wild, man. He said he need his 2,000, boy. He need his Rona check.
Give me that stimmy. But no, I feel you, man. Like, first of all, we are definitely out south. Whenever you see T, it's south side with it. I'm sure y'all know by now. But always got time for We Out West with it. Shout out to the man, Mick Luter, you know?
Great ML, man. Mick Copernicus, Mick Angelo. You know,
Yes,
he got
sir.
a lot of aliases, man. That's my boy.
When you got a lot of aliases, that means you must be a stand-up dude. Nope, you got to be a stand-up dude to have hella nicknames, right?
But when you come up with your own nicknames,
that too.
Anybody that he calls himself Mick Copernicus. Like if you don't, do the knowledge, man. Go look up
sir.
Nicholas Copernicus, man. And,
Yes, sir.
We all know about Michelangelo. He calls himself Mick Angelo, so shout out to Mick, man. Mick just had the beautiful baby girl about a month ago. I hit him up Sunday to make sure, just to check in on him, make sure everything was good.
Yes,
and
sir.
he said he was on his way back from Alabama because his mom lives in Alabama and she wanted to see the baby. So
Gotta see the baby.
So they drove down to Alabama. He was on his way back and he said everything is good, man. So shout out to our boy Mick, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Gino, man, I feel like you brought up a great topic before the break. It's something that I know both of us have thoughts on, especially with you being an official BBWAA member. This is business for you. This is some in-house business, family biz for you. You know.
Yeah, man. I won't have a Hall of Fame vote until maybe 2024. Maybe 25. I'm not sure if it's 6 or 7 years.
That's around the corner. Yeah,
it
as
is.
fast as easy as it's been going by.
Time is flying. But, I am a member of the association, and I know how these guys operate, being able to chop it up with many of them over the past 3 years. So, yesterday, man, it came out that there were no Hall of Fame inductees from this year's ballot, man, which was interesting because there's some deserving guys on the ballot. And anybody out there that doesn't know, when you're on the Hall of Fame ballot, you have to your name has to be on 75% of the ballots in order for you to be inducted into the Hall. And you only need to receive, I'm not sure what percentage. I'm thinking it's only like, it might be 10%, it might be even less, but you need at least 10%, I think, for your name to appear on the ballot, to continue to appear on the ballot once you're on there. And I think there's a 10-year span that you can have your name on the ballot. So yesterday, the news came out that there were no inductees from this year. Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens, this was their 9th year on the ballot. Both of those guys were on 62% of the ballots. Kurt Schilling, I think this is his 9th year as well. And he was on 71% of the ballots. And like I said, your name needs to be on 75% of the ballots to be inducted. So another year with no Barry, another year with no Kurt Schilling, another year with no Roger Clemens, man. And I think it's a travesty, man, because Roger Clemens and Barry Bonds, before the steroid accusations, were two of the best baseball players of all time, no doubt.
Without question, as far as my memory serves.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. But when you think about it, the Hall of Fame is definitely about the player performance, but equally as much it's about, integrity, sportsmanship, characteristic.
Man, oh man.
All of those other things, which
buzzwords.
It's
about integrity.
And what you deem, because
what you deem acceptable,
exactly,
and okay,
exactly. And if you're, pardon my French, an asshole, because a lot of these writers and a lot of these analysts and a lot of these columnists, they're soft.
I feel like that needs to be understood. The people that are voting for these players to get into the Hall of Fame are the writers that covered them during their careers, basically.
Yep.
BBWA is it a union of writers? Is it just a group? Should I say union? Because I feel like if something happened to a writer, the BBWA comes to their defense.
Yeah.
You know, they hold it down. A lot of respectable dudes are in there. I feel like that's where I kind of want to start with you, bro. And when I look at the list of the votes that Howard shook down this year, like you said, Kurt Schilling 71%, not enough to get into the Hall of Fame. But then right after him is Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens, the two guys that I feel like are the elephants in the room when it comes to the Hall of Fame. 61% of the voters are voting for these guys to get into the Hall of Fame. 40% are the ones that are blocking, them getting into the Hall of Fame. It makes me feel like, how in the world can a baseball writer be the ones that keep the greatest player of all time out of the Hall of Fame? You know what I mean? And with respect to what we do on our end, I feel like you should still have the utmost respect for what these athletes are able to do. And then getting to the steroid side of it, I'm very blown that they are treating Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens or Sammy Sosa, whoever, like the only cats that took steroids, like there's no steroid using mugs in the Hall of Fame.
Well, when you take a deeper look at it, if you think about it, here we go. We play the race card a lot, but the race card needs to be played when it's applicable. Is that the word?
Absolutely. And if the shoe fits.
But let's think about it. Let's go back. So steroids, they don't make you perform better.
So what do they do?
Steroids help you.
Like, what do they affect?
They affect your workout, and they affect, like, the way you return from an injury. More so than...
Speeds up your healing time.
More so than making you a better player. Because ain't no steroid going to help your hand-eye coordination hitting no baseball.
Fact, you're not hitting a 90-mile-per-hour fastball because you hopped on HGH.
So when you think about a guy like Roger Clemens or guys like Mark McGwire, who we all know about the McGwire, Sosa, Bonds, that 3, 4, 5 year run, which basically gave baseball its life back.
What? Not just it gave baseball its life back with everybody cheering it on.
That's what I'm saying.
From Bud Selig to all the managers, owners.
There you go.
They loved it.
So I feel like Mark McGwire and Mark McGwire and Roger Clemens are like the sacrificial lambs. But it's more about Barry Bonds. You see how much
they got snitched on the most.
Yeah, it's more about Barry Bonds. It's going to be more about Sammy Sosa and all of those guys, because the year when Mark McGwire got caught wasn't no big deal. I think Skip Bayless might have been the only guy who was like up in arms about Mark McGwire using steroids.
And what, he's worked in baseball since. He was a hitting coach.
Yeah.
For whoever.
Yeah. But you got to remember, andro wasn't an illegal substance back then. So everybody was like, man, it's not an illegal substance. Leave him alone. So let's not forget about that. It wasn't against the rules. So, but when Barry Bonds does it.
And so what is the underlying reason? What's the real reason that this man is not in the Hall of Fame? Is it simply because he took the steroids?
Yeah, it's more about
but
the
they
steroids.
can never prove
exactly
that even though people that they proved took steroids said that they gave steroids to Barry Bonds.
Right. And we know and let's be real. Man, Barry started looking like Mr. Potato Head, bro.
Oh, he did. And I was breaking it down to somebody yesterday, and I'm like, now it is a fact that he was always athletic, and the athleticism was always there. But even if you just go look back at pictures, this man looked like you at one point.
Yeah.
Okay.
When he was part of the 30-30 club, still in, hitting 300, still hitting 30 home runs, yeah, and still in 30 bags, and and winning Silver Slugger titles and Gold Gloves and all of that. But when you think about it, let's talk about remember Brady Anderson for the ball? Do you remember Brady Anderson?
I remember the name.
Brady Anderson back in 96.
Okay.
This man was a leadoff hitter.
Okay.
He hit 50 home runs. If you look at Brady Anderson, if you look at Brady Anderson's yearly stats, nothing compares to that year.
I'm laughing.
50, bro.
From a leadoff spot.
50.
Okay.
Do you remember Louis Gonzalez?
Oh, yeah. Come on.
You remember the year in Arizona?
The turning back, yeah.
Remember the year in Arizona he hit 52?
Yes, sir.
Runs?
He was in that race for a little bit.
Come on, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody made a big deal about it back then. Ken Caminiti. He swole up from the Royals in Houston.
First cat to die, right?
Come on, man. So I just feel like with Barry Bonds, it's more of the steroid accusation, but it's also the guy that he was. When we go back to, like I said, it's about the statistics and it's about the player performance, but it's also about your character and the integrity of the game and all of that too. And if you talk
with
to
a
these
guy
guys,
like Ty Cobb, I mean, you go all the racist bigots in the Hall of Fame, but an asshole is too much, right?
But you think about
a cheater, even if you cheat at the game, is that worse than being a racist and a bigot?
Yeah, especially for an organization which was formed in 1908. The BBWAA was formed in 1908, and this was an organization found to protect, sports rights.
The good old, yeah, exactly.
The good old boy.
Exactly. This was the good old boy safety net.
So of course, their word reigns supreme in being able to decipher whether a player deserves, a Hall of Fame induction or not. And I feel like with Barry Bonds, like I said, Mark McGwire, Roger Clemens, yeah, they'll be the sacrificial lambs, but we all know damn well that Roger Clemens and Barry Bonds are Hall of Fame.
And even if you Sammy Sosa, Andy Pettitte, Manny Ramirez, these are all guys linked to steroids, but are they not the best play? Were they not the best players of their time?
Yeah, and then think about this next class with A-Roy, my boy. I love A-Rod.
If he gets in, which he's not,
he's gonna have trouble too. I feel like A-Rod and Big Papi were probably the only ones that I saw off top who I felt like if I had a vote, A-Rod is first ballot to me. Big Papi is first ballot to me.
Facts.
So I'm not tripping on the Roy's, bro.
See, do you hear all these top name players who were, and I don't want to take away from the fact that steroids definitely helps you become a different athlete. But man, like honestly, I'm sorry, baseball, but this happened on y'all watch. And these are the Hall of Famers of that time.
Come on, man. You talked about it. Bud Selig and them knew what was going on, bro. Y'all needed everything in the world to try to revive that game.
And ain't he in the Hall of Fame?
Come on.
Come on, man. It's really becoming ridiculous. I don't know if I can respect the Hall of Fame that doesn't have the best player of all time, the best pitcher of all time, and it already doesn't have Pete Rose, the best hitter of all time. And I feel like that's a different circumstance. I don't think that it's one umbrella for cheating.
But when you think about Pete Rose, okay, yeah, he gambled on the games. What did that have to do with the guy he was on the field?
Yeah, nothing. It's happened after his career.
This is an award that should be based on
what happens
your performance on the field
between
them lines.
Come on, man.
There's no doubt Pete Rose.
So you don't have a problem with Kurt Schilling being in the Hall of Fame, even though he's probably the most outspoken,
Well, Kurt Schilling ain't in the Hall of Fame.
But should he be?
It depends. Because like we talked about before we got here, his playoff resume, the year in Arizona with the big unit,
and
AJ
in 01.
Was it Beckett? Josh Beckett.
Josh Beckett was Florida with the Marlins.
AJ, what was his name? What was the other pitcher? It was the unit, Kurt Schilling, and
I know. I can't remember his last name.
Yeah, I can't think of his name, but they were hurling. But that was legendary.
Exactly.
And Boston Kurt Schilling, the playoff Kurt Schilling
on his sock.
Yeah, playoff Kurt Schilling was tough. But if you factor in his regular season, and then you put it up.
How many career wins does he have?
I'm not sure. Check it out.
Let me check it out real quick.
I think Kurt Schilling, if he got 71%, I feel like next year He's got to get 75%. I still feel like Curt Schilling is going to fall short.
Got 216 wins.
Well, how many losses?
146. A career 3.4 ERA.
That's good.
Yeah, that's pretty nasty.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, again, you got to go back and you got to think about how these people vote for these guys.
And I think that's a whole, are the standards for the Hall of Fame too extreme now? Because I'm looking like, okay, 71%. Is that not enough to get you in the Hall of Fame?
Nope.
60% of the voters think you're a Hall of Famer, fam.
But you need 75%. You need 3/4. You need 3/4 of the voters to think that you're a Hall of Famer, bro. And
that sounds kind of outdated, like most things in baseball.
Period.
I mean, it's like, okay, who's going to get close to 300 wins anymore? I mean, I'm looking up the active wins leaders in baseball, and I'm like, who's going to get 216? The active, of course, is the old mugs. You know what I mean? But John Lester, 193, Zach Greinke, 208. And then you got Justin Verlander and Bartolo Colon over 220.
Justin Verlander's over 220?
Justin Verlander has 226. Bartolo Colon, who's been pitching ever since I can remember, has 247.
Right, he might come back next year at 49.
Exactly. That's just the legend of Bartolo Colon. But after that, Clinton Kershaw, not even close. You know what I mean? So I feel like eventually the standards are going to have to be amended to fit the game. Pitchers aren't throwing 100 pitches a game like they were in Curt Schilling's time. You know, just a few years ago. They damn near are going 7 innings.
And like you said, so now with this new regime and this new era of the way these things hash out, yeah, you don't have guys like the big unit going 9 innings, throwing 135 pitches, Roger Clemens, those type of guys doing that. Now you're lucky if your guy goes 7 and gives you 100 pitches.
Yes.
So the barriers on which these things are voted on, maybe they have to change, maybe they won't. That's why those guys got the votes, and we're fans, and I mean I'll have a vote soon, but. Yeah, it's weird when you, like I said, when you've been around, you sitting.
All of the players now are I grew up rooting for these cats.
Even Mark Burley. Mark Burley got 11% of the vote, so that's nothing, but it was enough to keep him on the ballot for next year. Now, do I think Mark Burley is a Hall of Fame worthy? I don't think so. Do I think Mark Burley is going to get into the Hall of Fame? I don't think so.
I don't think Mark Burley's going to get into the Hall of Fame. I think he was one of those very good pitchers of his time.
Exactly.
But I think most players fall into that category. That, as these Hall of Fame classes start to come, from players from my era, most of those cats on the ballot were in the very good class. I don't know if you can call them great players.
I agree with you 100%. Now, if you look at the numbers, they're like over 20,000 guys who've played Major League Baseball. Only 120 or 130 Hall of Famers, bro.
Wow. I've never got that numbers breakdown. That's crazy. That's
half of 1%.
Baseball got to do better, man. Come on. Honestly, because when you look at Mark Burley's career, and yes, I called him very good, but he was he not a memorable pitcher? What hasn't he done on the diamond? I know he didn't win a Cy Young, but
Mark Burley?
Yeah, all-star. Multiple all-star appearances. In the Cy Young voting, running every single year. He has the perfect game, no-hitter, World Series championship. One of those obscure baseball stats. He has the save in the clinching game for the White Sox.
Right.
One team his whole career. And he just got his number retired, and I know that doesn't mean much in terms of his Hall of Fame resume. But when he did it, who was better than Mark? Who was more reliable than Mark Burley during that time?
I agree with you, but you also got to look at the type of pitcher Mark Burley was. It wasn't like he was Greg Maddux.
It wasn't like he was
Tom Glavine. These guys were like
he was in that mode though. He wasn't going to overpower you.
But I mean, as far as that, but then you got to look at the length and how it was done.
As wicked as them,
you know. Mm-hmm. He was, like you said, he was very good. He was serviceable. He was reliable.
But see, now he was also the leader of a world championship staff.
I agree with you.
He was that number one pitcher.
I agree with you. But but when you look at Glavine and Maddox, I mean, Maddox started off in Chicago. He was a demon then. Then when he got to Atlanta with him and Smoltz and Tom Glavine, that was as wicked of a 1, 2, 3 as I'd ever seen in my life. And it was a model of consistency year in and year out. Those guys would eat up 250 innings every year. They were 15 game winners every year. They made it to the postseason every year. So you got to factor in those things as well. Now,
that's a nasty, but you know what I mean, individually, yeah, they did their thing.
But that's also a team thing. Even though the pitcher is the only guy on the field, it's like the quarterback. The only guy on the field is going to have the ball in his hands every play. The pitcher is that guy, but it's also a team thing. So when we talk about the model of consistency with Glavine, Smoltz, Steve Avery, let's not forget about Steve Avery, the fourth guy in the rotation.
Nasty.
They were too nasty. But you have to have the consistency from each guy to be able to pull off this feat year in and year out. So with Mark Burley's case, it was at most how many years? 3, 4?
It was more like a 6 or 7 year thing.
Okay.
Like maybe until, and I would have to look up his, how long he was in the league.
Let me look it up.
But I don't think he ever had a bad year. Not until I think he got older did it start to, to be like, okay, Burley is an issue. But
Mark Burley, 16 wins in 01, 19 wins in 02, 14, 03, 16, 16, 12, 10, 15, 13, 13, 13.
Super solid.
214 wins in a 16-year career.
Only 2 less wins than Kurt Schilling, huh?
160 losses.
20 more losses. Thanks to those rough years in Chicago, though.
Less than 2,000 strikeouts.
He wasn't an overpowering.
Not 1,000 walks.
Not 1,000 walks. Okay.
3,500 hits.
Does it say what opponents batted against them?
3,300 innings. Batting average. Let's see. It doesn't say what. I will have to do some advanced stats on that. But man, this is pretty good stuff.
Yeah,
this is pretty good stuff.
And you see, and I feel like the issue is when I think of but the basketball Hall of Fame.
He only had one losing season.
Yeah, just one losing season. It's not easy to be my favorite player of all time. Yeah. So, but Gino, I feel like if this was basketball, Mark Burley would be a Hall of Fame.
Oh, no doubt.
You know what I mean?
Oh, it's no doubt.
How are those not Hall of Fame level resume? How is that not a Hall of Fame? And with the World Series.
Well, we just talked about it, man. This is his first year on the ballot. So
and the White Sox don't have that's their only World Series in recent memory.
Right.
And I mean, it's like, okay, when they were good, he was their anchor. And I know it's only one meaningful season.
And that was 05, right?
Yeah, and of course
16-8, 3.12 ERA. That was his lowest ERA of his career. 33 games, started 30. That's another thing.
He was the anchor.
No, this guy definitely needs more Hall of Fame consideration. I think, but this being his first year, I think
it's going to grow.
And I'll have a vote by then, and Mark Burley is definitely getting my vote. I'm looking at these stats.
Infiltrating the system.
This is a guy, this is a model of consistency right here. John Lester is one of those guys who talks about getting the ball every 5 days and being, availability is your best ability. And this guy, Mark Burley,
was never hurt.
32 starts, 34 starts, 35, 35, 33, 32, 30, 34, 33, 33, 31,
old school.
31, 31, 33, 32, 30.
Until it was over.
Yeah, no, they tripping. He did a 16-year bid. He definitely deserves more. I'm sure he'll get more, like you said. He was All-Star 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years.
And he started, I think, a season. I think he was the All-Star Game starter 1 year.
Cy Young in 2005. In the Cy Young running in 2005.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
And was basically the MVP. Because it was that the pitching staff in 05 was just nasty.
Nasty, yeah.
We lost one game throughout that whole playoff run, and they had 5 straight complete games.
Yeah.
Come on, who will ever do that again? 5 straight complete games in the playoffs? Come on, can you picture a manager these days letting that happen? Like, to be as comfortable with your staff to be like, I'm letting 5 straight complete games run off. These days, a manager's going to get in his way and just like, hey, we got to take him out.
Well, like Gardis Watts just said, one problem with Mark Burley, he was only in the top 5 in Cy Young voting one time in his 16-year career.
And look at who was pitching at his time. I mean, you're talking about Randy Johnson, Curt Schilling, who else? Pedro Martinez. Those are the pitchers during that time.
And let's not forget, like Kenneth Steele said, don't forget Burley didn't get a lot of run support when he pitched either.
That's what I'm saying. That was always an issue with him. But also, this man used to move work like nobody's business. We'd be in and out an hour and a half, bruh.
Yeah, and that's, as a writer, is nothing more beautiful than an under 3-hour baseball game.
It's so rare these days.
When you see Mark Burley and Kyle Hendricks on the bump, you're like, yeah, this is going to be a great day.
If you missed 30 minutes of that game, you didn't miss like 3 or 4 innings, okay?
That's true, man.
So, but yeah, man, I feel like the conversation of baseball Hall of Fame and those guys being some major cranks. Yeah, Barry Bonds should be a Hall of Famer. It's just the fact of the matter, bro. I mean, I hate the way they're penalizing him for what was going on in an era. He is not the face of steroids to me. Bud Selig is. He was the commissioner of that time. He's the king steroid pusher. He should be facing a lot more criticism than he has. Instead, he gets to sit in the sunset.
Yeah, man. Bud Selig got out the jam immediately, man.
He saw it coming.
Let me pass the reins to this guy and let me go ahead, bow out gracefully, and continue to live it up, man.
Rob Manfred is the mark of who Bud Selig was. Like, you pass the sticks to this dude. This is
my son, his
son. It's a Travis mockery.
I agree.
What's going on with Barry Bonds in the Hall of Fame?
And before we take this next break, man, I just want to let Curt Schilling know he said yesterday that he wanted his name removed from the ballot.
Let me get my ball and go home. I'm leaving.
Man, give me my ball so I can go home. Sorry, Curt Schilling, but that's against Baseball Writers Association of America rules. Your name cannot be removed from the ballot.
Until that time comes.
Until your time comes, until your 10 years are up, and then, the Veterans Committee can take over later on down the line, and maybe they'll give you the induction that you feel like you're worthy of. Because Curt Schilling said he feels like he's not a Hall of Famer, but if former players and, his guys think he is, then he thinks he's worthy.
Gino, that brings me to another point that I got to drop on you real quick. I said what I said about writers voting in the Hall of Famers. Shouldn't it be athletes with that power, though? Shouldn't the players that these guys play with, and maybe even the coaches, shouldn't they have the deciding vote on who goes into the Hall of Fame?
That's interesting.
Should it just be all writers deciding? And honestly, one of the things I appreciate being me, and having an opportunity to cover the sport is that I get to be closer to guys that have this God-given talent, things that I could never do even if I tried. Like, where does it make sense if I said Barry Bonds is not a Hall of Famer? Like, I almost like, okay, let me stand in a box at least once and get a 95 mile per hour thrown right down the middle, and let's see what I do with it.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, okay, y'all, I know y'all didn't like this dude, but shouldn't have to say on his playing legacy.
Yeah, that's interesting stuff, man. I definitely think, former players, coaches, retired players, executives. There should be a bunch of different guys. Maybe, the lone vote of baseball, it should be more of an extension. Maybe it shouldn't just be the Baseball Writers Association of America, but hey, man, it's the good old boys, man. This is the last game they really got. And they're not trying to let the reins go. So as much power as they can keep and continue to have, they're showing it, on a yearly basis. And this year was just, the Hall of Fame. I feel like a guy like Scott Rowland, who I feel like he's going to get in further down the line. He was Scott Rowland was a very good third baseman, man. Scott Rowland was actually raw.
When he was playing, did you consider him the best third baseman of all time?
Not of all time.
I've seen people say that.
No, he wasn't better than Mike Schmidt.
And of course, they look at the sabermetrics, the numbers.
That's cool. The numbers are great. The numbers are you got to look at the numbers. The extra sabermetrics and all that miss me with all that. Like I'm never going off any of that. The basic numbers, average home runs, RBI, stolen bases, fielding percentage, maybe a couple other numbers that I'm leaving out, but I can consider those. But all that extra stuff, I don't need that. You look at the player he was. You look at how available he was. You look at where he ranked amongst the other players and the other third basemen in the league at that time. I feel like Scott Rowland I feel like Chipper Jones might be. I think Chipper Jones was a better third base. Well, Chipper Jones wasn't he a catcher too?
Chipper Jones was a catcher. He was like a backup catcher too.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I feel like Mike Schmidt, George Brett, there are a few guys at third base all time who were better than Scott Rowland. But when Scott Rowland was playing, Scott Rowland was definitely, if not the best third baseman.
Facts.
He was top 2, top 3 on a yearly basis. So I think down the line he'll get in. I think a guy like Jeff Kent, one of the best second basemen of all time.
And yeah, he is. But man, did he benefit from Bonds?
Yeah, he did. There's no doubt he did. But he held his own. If you look at the numbers again,
he was a great cushioning the lineup for Bonds, honestly.
Yeah, look at his numbers, 300 home runs, man second base, like, one of the best. And I just feel like he's another guy down the line who will get in. Now, when you look at a guy like Andrew Jones, he might be cooked.
Which is ridiculous. Because I know people love Torrey Hunter and
cooked
and Jim Edmonds.
Cooked.
Yo, this man was lethal in center field. Like, this man covered so much ground, and he was nasty at the plate. Give me Andrew Jones over both the guys. Andrew Jones needs to be in the Hall of Fame. Gino, man, we may have to get you under the Trump Act with the election over there. We're going to have to stuff the box or something for Barry, man.
I'm stuffing the box, man.
No.
I wish, brother.
Good move. I feel you.
I wish, brother, but it's not looking good for Barry. Like Chris Williams said, man, a lot of the baseball writers, they go off of emotion. And, I mean, you got to think about it. It's a 162-game season, man. You get to interact with these guys, when they're in town for a 3-4 game series. And you get to see their character. And, again, like I said, man, I just feel like this stuff should be based on performance only, but that's why I didn't make the rules. That's why I didn't invent the Baseball Writers Association of America, and that's why I don't have a vote until 2025. So until then, man, all we can do is look at the ballots and say who we would vote for.
Debate.
And it's a good debate. But this year, no inductees, and sorry to Kurt Schilling, but
you just made me hopeful for Mark Burley, though, which is what I'm looking at over the next few years anyway. So I'm hoping that the revelations that you just had, that all the other voters get a chance to look a little deeper at what Mark Burley has done, and we can get another Southsider in the Hall of Fame. Of course, if I had a vote, that would be the first name I checked. So.
And now I'm looking at Andrew Jones' numbers.
How is he?
He hit 254. He had 434 home runs, 1,289 RBIs. I'm sure he got about 8 Gold Gloves.
Oh,
though.
Come on. Exactly. Yeah, like I'm
486 slugging, 823 OPS, 337 on base percentage. It's a decent slash line, man.
Honestly, that's better than I thought it would be for Andrew Jones.
Let's look at his availability.
Now he spent some years hurt.
153, 159, 162,
Oh,
161,
shit.
161, 154, 156, 154, 160,
Take that back.
156, 154. So he had an 11-year streak where he was in the lineup every game. And that's something that you
that's
can't
what
really
it
gloss
takes.
over. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really what it takes. Somebody had asked, excuse me for not, I couldn't find a comment, but they asked about Johan Santana, left-hander from Minnesota. And I remember he was a major monster, but I think he was just hurt a little bit too often. Especially when he left Minnesota. I don't remember him doing much of anything because he was hurt.
Right.
But out in that Central Division, when he was healthy, he was damn near automatic win. Like, you didn't want to see Johan Santana.
Yeah, Johan Santana's cooked.
Yeah.
But I feel like Andrew Jones, man. Andrew Jones is definitely Hall of Fame worthy. I'm looking at those numbers. Second all-time in Gold Gloves. I know his defensive WAR was outstanding. Even though that's a stat, a sabermetric that I'm not really messing with, but it does hold some weight. The all-time leader in putouts from the outfield. All-time leader in seasons with 25 home runs and a 1.0 defensive WAR. Braves most home runs in the season with 51.
He's the leader in most putouts in center field.
Yeah.
That's a great stat to own.
For 10 years spanning 97 to 07, only Barry and A-Rod had a higher WAR. Damn. Andrew Jones averaged 34 home runs and 103 RBIs while winning 10 straight Gold Gloves.
10 straight.
Game over. Yeah, it's a Stravisham mockery, man. I don't know what you guys in the BBWAA are doing, but y'all ain't going to stop me from doing me. So we'll see who's on the ballot when it's my turn to check some names off on that piece of paper, and I'm looking forward to it, bro.
No, I'm looking forward to it as well, man. You know, I wish it was something we could do about our guys, but hey, man, they're gonna end up being casualties of the good old boys, and I'm sure that those guys are gonna pop open a beer or pop open some champagne on the day that they don't got to worry about Barry Bonds on the ballot anymore.
Barry, you're a Hall of Famer in our eyes, brother.
Without question.
Power to the people. With that being said, man, let's take us another break, man. We come back on the other side, man. T, I'm going to let you choose our next topic, man. I know it's a few things we got to talk about, but, we'll just come off the head with one, man. So
let's do it.
You're on the soil with the brothers. We'll be right back.
The Chicago Legal Network is the collaboration of attorneys that concentrate in many areas of the law most needed in Chicago neighborhoods. The CLN lawyers focus on personal injury, criminal defense, and other issues. The CLN lawyers all average over 20 years of legal experience and are dedicated to helping the Chicago community. The Chicago Legal Network is committed to developing black lawyers through mentorship and co-representation. So if you were injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or injured on the job, or you need assistance with criminal defense, including driving violations and DUI, check out ChicagoLegalNetwork.com for more information or call 773-912-3545. 773-912-3545.
I'm blessed.
Church Chicago's Power Hour. I'm your host, Angie Mims, and
Terrence Keys,
TD, a.k.a. Terrence Daniels.
You got an inspirational word for today?
Oh, man, I'll be honored. Giving honor to God. Hey, man, on Sunday morning, it's early, so we got to give honor to God.
Yes, sir.
The good word for today is don't worry.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes in our life, in our walk, in our days, in our journeys, we find a way to just worry about so many things. Yeah. And we just want to encourage you today that those worries is God's responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
It's God's responsibility because at the end of the day, what we worry about, most times we can't handle.
Yes.
And we would agree together, we can't handle it, so we have to give it to God. That's his responsibility. Mm-hmm. And our job is to simply believe.
Yes.
Simply believe. When we believe, the Bible says all things are possible.
Come on through here.
I better leave that alone. I feel my
Preaching already.
You feel it? So be anxious for nothing. Even the Bible says don't worry about anything. In Matthew 6:33 it says don't worry about anything, but seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these other things be added unto you. So we're here to encourage you.